Basketball fans, welcome back. So, there's an interesting story here that I was just doing some research on. This story is done by Fadeaway World and Emmanuel Mudiay on how the NBA salary politics ruined his time with the Jazz. So Emmanuel Mudiay, he came out with a brief interview on what really happened and how the NBA salaries and how NBA players are paid, how it affected like the position that he was playing. So Emmanuel Mudiay, he implied that he didn't get a chance to shine on the Utah Jazz because he was playing behind a player who made more money. So the NBA landscape can be very political, and from keeping certain players out of the league to adjusting minutes to keep our players' value low, we've seen it across multiple teams over multiple years. So Emmanuel Mudiay claims he was a victim of the NBA salary politics in his 2019-2020 season with the Jazz, that and he saw his minutes restricted for a higher paid player playing that position. So Quinn Snyder, he came out and said, Quinn Snyder tells me I'm averaging 7 points in 15 minutes. That's pretty decent. He calls me in his office one day and says, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're playing very well. You're probably not gonna play for the majority or the rest of the season because I play you, gonna play you so and so. I was like, what did I do? Then he said, he did everything right. That person is making 20 plus million. What am I supposed to do? He's saying he keep it professional and be ready when your name is called. I did everything right, and you're telling me that you tell me that right wasn't right. You get what I'm saying? Not not it was like f that, bro. Not it was like f that, bro. So I'm just gonna play like a sound snippet of what transpired. Then we come back.
I'm in Utah, bro. Quinn Snyder tells me at that point like I said, I'm averaging like 7 points in like 15 minutes, bro. Which that's pretty decent. So he comes get me he puts me in the locker. I mean, in his office, and he's like, "Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're playing very well." He's like, "This is he listen. These are his words. He's like, this like taking something from my son, bro." He said, "You're probably not gonna play majority of the rest of the season because I gotta play so and so." And I was like, "So what did I do?" They was like, "You did nothing wrong. You did everything right." Man, that person making 20 plus million. Like, so what am I supposed to do? He's saying he's saying just keep it professional, be ready when your name is called, blah blah blah. So I'm like, so I did everything right. This is what you're telling me. I did everything right, but now you're telling me right wasn't right. You get what I'm saying? So now it's just like, man, it was on somebody like, F that, bro.
So you heard what transpired with Emmanuel Mudiay, and Emmanuel Mudiay averaged 7.3 points on 46.9% shooting in 57 minutes played per game that year. So that is good production for a bench player, making him question why he wasn't getting a bigger opportunity. Mudiay was only making 1.7 million that year on a veteran minimum salary, so he was not on that vet minimum mid-level exception that the Jazz had. So he hasn't played in the NBA since 2022 when he was on the Minnesota Timberwolves. So he's currently playing for the Changeros de Sanctuary in Puerto Rico. So was Emmanuel Mudiay referring to Mike Conley? Because Mike Conley was on the list of one of the most overpaid players in there, and you could see the reason as to why the coach didn't want to, put him in there was because there was another player that was making 20 plus $1 million. So Moody signed with the Jazz on the minimum at the age of 23, hoping that he could re-establish his value in the league coming off his rookie contract. But the Jazz had acquired Mike Conley in a trade in 2019 off-season, with Conley coming off a highly regarded tenure with the Grizzlies. So Conley was supposed to be in the to be the point guard that elevated the Jazz to contention, but he averaged 14.4 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 4.4 assists in that down year. So there were teammates, and Conley was making $30.4 million that season. It seems to be a pretty pointed indicator that Moody was talking about Mike Conley. And given like the way he was talking, the coach didn't want to explicitly say it was Mike Conley, but if you look at the player the position that Moody played, it was the same one as Mike Conley. So Mike Conley enjoyed 2 more seasons with the Jazz, even being named the All-Star in the 2020-21 season, before getting traded to the Timberwolves last winter. So the only possible option is Jordan Clarkson if he's not talking about Mike Conley. But he was having a great season, averaging 15.2 points. He wouldn't go on he will go on to win the sixth man of the year in the 2020-2021 season. So the financial concerns that the Jazz had in mind when they made this decision can't be pinned on Conley. So he had a slow start with his tenure with the Jazz, and Conley uh, couldn't find the heights to achieve what the Jazz had brought him in there for. So Mudiay was a talented NBA player, but never found a home in the NBA, and that's the reason as to why you're seeing the salary politics play a crucial role in just destroying an athlete's career. So I just saw this story and just said, let me just shed some light on it, because you can see one of the players that are up and coming, they're not able to like get an opportunity because there's another player that has been is on that max salary, and there's no way that a player that's on a veteran minimum deal is gonna outplay a player on the max salary. So the reason as to why a player, let's say in the NBA, gets paid 30 plus or even 25 plus $1 million for that position, they want you to be that number one option in that position. So there's no way another player is going to come and take that position from you. So a lot of money is committed to that player playing that position. So having another player, come in and essentially try to do that job, the front office will be questioned by the executives and owners, like, why are we paying this guy this much money and he's not producing, and this guy is on the cheap and he's able to produce this much. So there's that politics that goes in there. The person who has been given the most money is the one that is supposed to be given the most responsibility. That's the reason as to why Mudiay was not able to be given a shot, because you can see the coach has been instructed by the front office to play this player. So it was even beyond the coach's hands. I know the coach tried to like use some diplomacy in there, but that's something that the coach couldn't control. And the guy who was on the receiving end was Emmanuel Mudiay, because right now he's playing in Puerto Rico. He's a very good NBA player. I really liked him when he was playing with the Knicks, and his career just went downhill when he played for the Jazz. And the last time he was there was like about 2 years ago when he was playing for Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm pretty sure when he went into free agency, nobody even bat an eyelash on him. So it was just a sad way to end an NBA career. Hopefully, he comes back to the NBA. Hopefully, he's able to, just show that he can be able to play uh, good basketball there in Puerto Rico, then just come back maybe for one last ride. But I don't think that's highly likely. It will depend on the decision that he's gonna make personally. So I just said, let me just react to it, because sometimes people don't understand what goes on, especially when it comes to like these players' salaries. So hopefully this one just gives some clarity. And he said this in a podcast, and I just said, let me just react to it. So if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comments on what you think about this whole situation. And I'm out. Peace.